Cosmonic Brood War continues to grow, and today I'm going to be bringing you a cast over between Hamster, a relative newcomer, and MoonHunter, another person who I think is a relative newcomer because I've never actually seen them play before. In fact, until launching the first replay here for just a moment so I could make sure that I spelled their name correctly in the overlay, I didn't even know what race they were going to be. It looks like they'll be Terran, Hamster obviously a Zerg main. Let's see what happens in this 3-game set on Repulsion. Starting off in the top right-hand corner, we have MoonHunter, who is taking his sweet time moving his workers to the mineral line against Hamster. Of course, the actually yellow Protoss. So MoonHunter is, or rather Hamster is normally a Zerg player. He's signed up for Ascension 6 as Zerg. As of the time of recording, we actually have one slot available remaining. Who knows who's going to take that one up. But the Midnight Green Terran here is going up against an off race, which is kind of interesting, and has instantaneously pulled double Mason. So this is interesting, moving it over to the third. Again, no idea about MoonHunter. I don't really know any details about them as far as like their playstyle. I was told to expect aggression from Hamster's write-up, but other than that, I really don't know what to expect. So Hamster is going to be off-racing, just learning what's going on, maybe practicing stuff that he has seen in the tournament. This is actually played on the release update, so if you're expecting the new proximity cloak for Wraiths or anything of that sort, no, not quite the case. And MoonHunter's Masons have set themselves up for a proxy stockade. I'm not sure if the other one is going to go for a anything, really, or what this guy's going to do. He's sticking around. I think he's probably going to be adding on either an anchor or a stockade as well. So it's interesting as the opener. Of course, this will be scouted, and it's very, very all in. This is almost reminiscent to me of Starcraft 2, where you might sometimes see a Terran player go for like a double proxy racks and into like Reapers or something. That can happen. So I don't actually know where MoonHunter comes from, but trying to do it here, I mean, I respect it, man. The balls on this guy. Now, it is a lattice first, which means that vassals will be available. If it is going to be vassals, then MoonHunter can very easily repel that attack just by putting one watchdog in his mineral line. So that is actually maybe the best case scenario here. But also, you know, the other thing to remember is that with this proxy happening over here, you know, we would expect when MoonHunter invariably scouts it, oh no, he's actually not planning on scouting. It looks like he's pathed his worker over in this direction. I feel like he's probably just going to go ahead and throw down an anchor. Now, this is within vision range, so he has to be a little bit careful of this because he's actually kind of just giving away the game here. He's a little bit too close, I think. And yeah, Warden instantaneously drops. Hamster's like, all right, I scouted your base, you got nothing. I see your Mason at the corner of the area there. Now, for people who are new to Cosmonic Brood War, this isn't just like some weird spot. Well, why was he building a bunker there? No, the anchor can fly. Every Terran structure can lift off unless it's an add-on or a gas cap, in which case you can self-destruct it if need be. So that's essentially the play here. We will see a liftoff occur. The Warden is not done yet, and an idol is on the way, but here we go. Hamster just going to be using the big brain strats. Well, you can't land there. Now, you can unload the Mavericks, and looks like he's going to actually try to push it away with his Mavericks on the low ground. But again, the Warden is done. Now, at this point, they are even range, but you can't control what your anchor attacks. However, this does mean that you can do some pretty consistent damage to the worker line, right? So that has to be acknowledged here. There's one worker already down. A lot of other workers are very low, and it can be repaired, so it's not really the end of the world, although it's not actually currently being repaired. So, ooh, not quite going to be able to do that. Meanwhile, some Mavericks have wrapped around. The Golem is heading over to the mineral line. There's nothing protecting the space. This is a funny one. So let's see what the reaction is going to be there. Now, again, this is the old Golem. It doesn't have its new passive, but its new passive wouldn't really do much work here anyway, because the Golem has no allies nearby. So, hi, how do you do? What's going on? Now, the Golem does splash damage, but it's kind of localized, so you're going to see the HP bars of these kind of go down. The Mason Pull is in. One of the Masons will indeed fall. And, yeah, you're going to be... Oh, no, the Nexus is off-center. Hamster has been thrown off kilt. He has no idea what's going to happen now. The double stockades have gone dark because right now the Masons are returning to work. It looks like only one Mason actually died, so a little bit of micro there for MoonHunter saved it. And this Nexus did get canceled, and, ooh, man, delayed. Now, okay, another anchor is constructed. Now, this time 3 Mavericks are in. We got more Mavericks coming. We've got a bunch of them over here. The idol is heckled on the way out, starting to take some hull damage. Gonna need to kite backwards. No stim pack, no... Okay, now we've got something. And a little bit of, you know, okay, I think at least... Actually, both of these could go down in one shot, but it looks like not quite. They've got 3 health left, and so does the idol. It's the battle of the threes, running him away there. Yeah, okay, the shields are big, but, you know, you can kind of deal with that. Now, I don't know if the idol... It's just going to path directly into the top right. Now, economically speaking, right, MoonHunter, 2 of his 13 Masons are off over here. And now he is going to start heckling the right side of the mineral field here. So a second lattice coming. This... I love it. I love that the new guy, who I've never seen play before, is the one cheesing. This almost never happens. Meanwhile, Mavericks have arrived. And they'll be fended off by an idol, but they'll start to shut down the mining over here. Unfortunately, he is pretty under-equipped to deal with this. If he had some clerics or something, I'd maybe think a little bit differently. I would love to see another anchor being constructed. This idol is very, very weak, and he didn't hunt it down before, so he's going to have to deal with that now. Looking for a Mason surround, but it's not going to happen. He's pulled all the boys, is going to need to return back. He could just send like 2 Mavericks up there to deal with that. That might even be the easier play. But right now, Hamster's still adapting, still trying to figure stuff out. It looks like this anchor has not been rooted out just yet. A couple Mavericks hanging out over here, a Warden put down, and some mining will resume. So yeah, at this point, with the worker deaths over here, it's a good thing that this Nexus is up, because now Hamster can put himself in that situation. An anchor is being constructed, but there's nothing here to staff it. So one of the Masons will indeed go down. What's Hamster's reaction? He's actually not paying attention to this, so the surround is in. He loses it, only killing 1 Mason, obviously denying some mining time, but now the worker lead. Well, again, this isn't really a lead, because 2 of the workers are here. So we are dead even on actual harvesting workers. And obviously there's more gas potential here for Hamster with his expansion, right? Now in CMBW, I explained this in the last cast over that we saw between Shambler and the Blind, but you need double saturation on the minerals for it to actually be legit. Now that Warden just got put down, but obviously it's going to get shot down by the anchor here. It looks like he's going to try to defend it with the idols, but I don't think that's going to be too successful for him. He's got 2 more coming. Okay, he might be able to do something here, but now the Warden is taking shots. So it looks like the stim pack is in. Mass Maverick coming out of MoonHunter. He wants to win with... He's the 1-unit challenge. It's only buildings. That anchor, or the Warden rather, does actually get canceled. And yeah, hold that thought about resource harvesting, because there's a load of Mavericks here, and they're all coming in pretty hard. The idols are down. There's only 1 left. The Simulacra are starting to split. That could be a pretty big asset in his favor. But it looks like he's only going to go for... Oh, he'll get a second one. Okay, that's not too bad. Now, unironically, the 3-crow strategy of like walking into the anchor fire line and then proccing auto vitality could help out in this situation. But there's no production, no pylon here. So actually that Warden is even defunct, and the anchor is going to be returning home to be repaired. This anchor is up, but there's nothing in it again, which is kind of funny. Oh no, is it going to once again fall? Oh, just at the last second, it does end up dying. Stim pack in, focusing down. Oh, the decollision from the Simulacra almost gets that idol killed. And now... we are seeing the multiplication happen. Another Warden. Is that even going to be enough when there's so many Mavericks? Another anchor being constructed. MoonHunter is after my own heart. My lord, this guy is doing his best. Man, why isn't this guy signed up for Ascension? This is the kind of gameplay we need to see. Denying some harvesting, killing a single scribe. Every kill matters at this point. Particularly for Hamster, where he doesn't have as good of an economy. No Vest being harvested. You know, MoonHunter could also be going for, you know, Harakins or something, but he even gets a snipe on a Simulacrum, it looks like, so that's pretty legit. Pylon coming back to repower the production. And this time we've got an anchor with 4 Mavericks in it. He went from 2 to 3 to 4, so this is the most durable anchor thus far, and actually has cliff advantage here, sniping away at some Sims. Another anchor up. Now, what happens here, he's going to go ahead and land it. This is in range of the Warden, so he's got to be a little bit careful about that. You can see here it's starting to shoot. And he gets like the worst possible spread, where now he's attacking like the Nexus with 1 Maverick, the Pylon with another Maverick. Yeah, he needs to back up a little bit. He's got another one done. And he is looking to storm the gates here with a couple of Mavericks. But this time it's way less than he had before. And there is only, there's 2 Wardens this time, a little bit split as well. So that could be a little bit bad. Trying to duel this anchor. It's being repaired now by 2 Masons. These 2 Masons, by the way, are the only 2 that were sent over here. I feel like you do have to be a little bit careful in this sort of situation to not lose those. So maybe try to focus those guys down. But you don't really have anything of good range. Like if a Gateway had come out and a Dracodon had come out, this would have been very different. But, you know, this is the price of off racing is sometimes you get cheese and put into really strange situations where you have no idea what to do because this is not your native race. Like as Zerg, I don't know that this would have happened at all. So now the double anchor strat landing. The Masons, if they're not careful, what they're tasked onto this to sort of repair it, and now they are indeed moving all the way across. So that to me seems like they're just going to path directly into the Warden. And the double anchor strat, yeah, it's listen, it's shut down the base. The Pylon is next. What's the army like? Not really got much going on. Here come the Masons. Oh, narrowly avoided disaster there. And he's even got a stockade over here with a single Maverick in the anchor and another one standing watch outside of it. Dude, MoonHunter is looking like this is his game to lose. How could he possibly drop this one? There goes the pylon, just about dead. Another one being warped in below it. Almost looked like it was warped in out of nowhere, but actually it was just because the scribe is off screen. More Mavericks. Just make more Mavericks. Make more anchors. Yes. Yes, Benno smiles upon you. MoonHunter is definitely... Listen. I think he's stalking his prey. He's going for it. Another round of attacks over here, but a little bit of a kerfluffle in terms of the pathing, trying to isolate the attack on the left-hand side. He needs to buy some time for his Nexus to heal up, otherwise he's not actually going to have a Nexus here. Just making more and more idols. I feel like all the money that went into idols could have gone into a different angle, but instead, it's not going to happen. Now here come more anchors. The Warden on the right-hand side is not going to be enough for it. This one is going to be within range of that Warden. And this one is going to be in range of that Warden, so this is a little bit awkward. Could be attacking in with additional Mavericks. Instead, the workers are just getting shredded once again. So all the extra workers that had been built up, Hamster's lost them all. Stimpak coming in. Mason is on standby, but not actually repairing anything just yet. And the scary thing about the Mavericks and the Anchors, if they're full HP, is that as soon as they pop out, you can actually stim them and get more DPS out of them, but not actually going to be enough to kill the Warden, and one of the Proxiers has finally died. The other one could have died too, as far as the Masons are concerned. Yeah, still not interested in going for the for any sort of anything here. But honestly, the army is starting to get a little bit spooky for the Protoss, and he hasn't garrisoned this this anchor, so he needs to respond to this, losing 2 immediately. He's now starting to repair. And a sim has died. Another one is not long for this world. There it goes. And stimming directly into that anchor. This one leaping forward. One of them has indeed burned down. We've got 3 lattice production out now. And Hamster has lost the Nexus, but he remains tall. These Mavericks could have actually supported this attack and maybe thinned the herd a little bit here, but Manifolds are going to be a good pick if they don't get focused down here. I don't know that MoonHunter is aware too much of what those units actually do, but does focus down one of the idols. There's a low HP one as well that could have been attacked, but... You could kind of think of a Manifold as like half a Draken in terms of damage and durability, but obviously they're a little bit more granular. You can, use them, you can clump them up a little bit better, but you can focus them down a lot as well. So it is possible. Still just the two stockade production. We've got this one back here at home. Just 18 workers, one of them being the proxy guy, trying to repair this anchor desperately. Could be moving this anchor a little bit further forward. Looks like he's sensed that. And maybe he should even send another Mason down. I mean, he should also be building more, and expanding and doing all this other stuff. But he thinks he's won. He thinks he's got this. And you know what? He might be right. I'm amazed that this game has gone on for this long, honestly. And the fact that we've got 2 more games after this is just phenomenal. So we might just leave this one as a standalone video, and we go into the others at a later date, because this is worth it. This is worth it. And I didn't actually mention this at the top of the video, but obviously this is being released interspersed with the matches between Shambler and the Blind, the practice matches there, so you can stay tuned for more of those. We'll kind of go back and forth between matches from that set of 23 replays that was sent in by the Shambler, and matches from other sources, as you might imagine. A huge throng of Mavericks is now amassing. 3 anchors on the front line. We've got 19 Mavericks. Of course, that'll be 15 because you're going to load 4 of them in there. And really, it is the 1 unit challenge so far. I mean, if you don't count workers, obviously. A horde of vassals has now appeared, but there is an anchor over here with fully stocked with Mavericks, so it can lift off and do something. Now, I like the idea of going up here to the cliff advantage, right? Taking advantage of that. And it looks like now, at this point, Hamster's trying to figure out what he should do to respond to this. Because losing those lattices would be pretty bad for his production rate. Another anchor being constructed on the front line. Now with cliff advantage, he can absolutely storm the gates and start attacking this Warden. The other one, remember, it was brought very, very low before, and so it will be focused down as well. Only 1 more static defense structure left, and a bunch of units were getting caught up on the sort of firing line up there. Now the idols are being focused down. Unfortunately, a lot of the Mavericks ended up losing their lives in the meantime. Now, we do have the worker harassment happening with the vassals, and this anchor is not being responded to as a result. So I feel like because of MoonHunter's a little bit lackadaisical response time, he still hasn't looked at his base. He's losing pretty much every single Mason. So this is really, really catastrophic for him. He doesn't even have enough money to get 1 Mason. So he needs to think about this. Now, it's become a bit of a survival game. However, speaking of survival, I mean, look, the army over here is not doing too well. And now you can just start attacking the production. boxing him in, getting another anchor on the way. And he has repaired this anchor, and he does have 4 masons. It's just, listen, it's like Brood War, right? You start with 4 masons, 4 SCVs. One of the lattices shall surely go down, but not before finishing a single vassal. Now, unfortunately, these are not in the best defensive network. I feel like with that vassal fight, you know, that play here, especially now that he's interrupting the stockades, this is a situation where Hamster can actually win because he's still mining at a much greater pace. This anchor moving forward, you really need to try to pick off this warden here and repair it with your mason at the same time. And it looks like that will actually happen here, but unfortunately a lot of the Mavericks have died elsewhere. The top fight is happening in the main still. That lattice is unpowered, so no additional play happening there. A lot of the vassals are going down. There's really not that much armor penetration left for Hamster's army. We're really going down to the wire with this game. My goodness. What a match. We have 1 lattice producing vassals, and that's it. This area is still under the domain of MoonHunter right now. He could be moving these Mavericks forward, try to repair this anchor. Oh, not quite going to get it. That's really unfortunate. Does get 1 more vassal. Each vassal is 75 minerals. Cancel a warden. And there is an idol left over, as well as a horde of 6 vassals. Can you call that a horde? Not really. That's not really what you want. Now, unfortunately, these Mavericks are going to get picked apart on their way back. But that's going to provoke a lot of the vassals to end up getting bopped by these anchors that are still in play. And we still have this hero mason that has constructed so many anchors throughout the lifetime. He lost his brother, but it's okay. Now, there's only 2 Mavericks in that anchor. And there's going to be consistent harassment and heckling happening. He even cancels a lattice, which is a really critical move. And using cliff advantage with anchors gives you +4 range as opposed to +2. Each one of those gives you +2 individually. So these Mavericks go from having 5 range to having 9 range, which is more than enough to outrange the Warden, which only has 7. So it's going to be an attempt at killing that, but the idol instantaneously falls. Now this pylon, which is powering the last lattice that Hamster has, is, well, it was under attack, but I don't think it's going to happen here. And all the vassals are getting pincered on the other side. This lattice now getting pressured by the Mavericks. GG is called, and my god, man, MoonHunter has done the most legendary cheese I think we've ever seen and pulled it off. I mean, okay, it's a close second maybe. I still think the Kagrant drop that 3Crow did in Ascension, I want to say 2, was absolutely phenomenal when he tried to do that to Mystery Meat. And, well, I say try, he succeeded in doing it. Whether or not it was a match win outcome is for you guys to go back and look. But, man, this match was legit. Big fan. MoonHunter has earned my, you know, servitude as a fan, my favor, you could say. He's definitely earned my heart. We'll have to stay tuned because this is definitely its own video. But we'll come back to this series at some point later on in the week, and you guys will see more from this guy as he takes on Hamster in 2 remaining matches. But man, I mean, I'll take the extra second here just to update the overlay because that deserves it. And when we come back, will it be a 3-0? Will he just clean sweep him? Will he just get nonstop cheese? Or is this the end? Is Hamster going to switch over to Zerg and really spank him? We'll find out in a couple days, probably.